What's up, folks? How's it going? Coming to you today from my padded room to talk to you about, I've said this unironically at least 10 times in the last 10 years. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Today, of course, we're talking about Syria, no. The collapse of Syria, no. South Korean president attempting a military coup, potentially plotting. The accusations are that he was plotting to kill the opposition party members and start a war with North Korea in order to fucking secure his military dictatorship. Is that what I'm talking about? No, not even that. Is it about Diddy? Not even that. It's about there are motherfucking drones everywhere. All right? So I've said before that I don't really want to make videos unless I have something to say that nobody else has said yet. So that's going to be the core of this. I have a potential. It's not my belief about what's happening with the drones. It's an option that I think is plausible that hasn't yet been suggested, though it's not a good one. First, I say there's not really any explanation for these drones that is good at this point. I mean, there's nothing good about this. The best case scenario is that it's the U.S. government testing something or doing some kind of, probing their own defenses, doing something weird like that. I find that very unlikely at this point because I don't understand why you would continue this with the amount of attention that's been brought and how upset people are. I mean, the local government in New Jersey is fucking up in arms. It's bipartisan. The people are upset and in adjacent areas. So they're very concerned. I just don't, it doesn't make sense to me that it's the government. The government says it wasn't them. I don't believe them. That's not why I think it's not the government. That seems to be the standard line, though. And pretty much everybody is saying that anybody who believes it's anything other than that is an idiot. I don't understand. The argument seems to be it can't be a foreign actor on account of the fact that they're running their lights. I don't really understand why. I mean, I believe the Chinese purposely allowed us to see those balloons just to upset everybody. I think that was part of the point. I mean, there's really, what are the options that are possible? It could be some kind of individual or group of individuals that are doing it for some reason or another, which from everything I've gathered is highly unlikely. These drones are, some of them very large, would be incredibly expensive. This would be quite a stunt to pull off. For what reasons? I don't know. So that's a possibility. The other possibility is that it is the government, some part of the government. That could explain why, everybody's kind of lost on this. They could be, there's a concept in wargaming called red teaming, red forcing, where you have military units that act as opposition forces in either pre-planned or unplanned tests or exercises. Again, I find that very unlikely at this point because they've caused such a stir. It would just be, baffling, unless that's just the point, is to just rile everybody up. I mean, I guess that could be, but I don't understand what the point of that is. The other options here are, I'm not even going to talk about aliens. I got a whole thing on what I think about aliens, but I don't believe this got anything to do with what people call aliens. The other option is that this could be a foreign actor. There are numerous foreign actors with the technology that are capable of this. A politician from New Jersey said that he was told by intelligence officials that it was the Iranians. He's been widely mocked for this. I don't really understand why. It's just as reasonable of an explanation. I mean, the government's official position is it's not theirs. They don't know what it is. So it could literally be anything. So, the Iranians have drones. and they have a reason to fuck with us, so I don't see why it couldn't be. I don't necessarily think it is. So this leads to my thought as to, because inevitably when you say, okay, it's a foreign adversary, why have they not, if it's a foreign adversary, why have they not attacked these drones yet? Okay. The thought I have had, and I'm not saying I believe this, I don't have any evidence of this. I have circumstantial evidence by the way that they're behaving, but I can't prove this. I just think this is an idea that's not totally crazy. So, the Chinese and the Russians, and I don't know about the Iranians, but probably through their connections with the Chinese and the Russians, are capable of producing small nuclear reactors to power things like spy satellites and other equipment. There's a history of this. Throughout the Cold War, we did it, they did it. It is possible that some or all of these drones could be powered in this fashion, because the drones appear to stay for much longer than any drone would be capable of. We're not able to find where they're coming from, which leads me to believe that they're coming from very far away, or they're going and hiding someplace and coming back during the night. They could head off towards the pole or someplace and duck away and then come back. They may possibly be powered, or they may have fear that these things are powered in this way. And this would be the reason why they would be unwilling to down these craft, on account of the fact that they could potentially create a nuclear accident. This dovetails into my other idea, which is connected to this, the other possibility that I've considered. Again, this is only if it's a foreign power, and why are they showing their lights? They may also be, again, I'm not saying I believe this is necessarily true, because I'm not trying to act like a panicked person, but it just seems like in the current world we live in, this could be totally plausible to me. It is possible that these are foreign drones. The government knows they're foreign drones, and they're unwilling to do anything about it because we're essentially being held hostage. It is possible that the government believes, or they've been told, or there actually are some sort of weapon of mass destruction possibly on these drones. Some of them are as large as cars. They're fully capable of carrying small nuclear devices or EMP devices. They may essentially be holding the U.S. government hostage, telling them that if they try to take down the drones, they're going to bring down the electrical grid on the East Coast, which they could do easily without even any kind of special weapons. Crash some of these into the right substations and all this and yada yada, and all of a sudden you got, what was that, 2003 when that shit happened? It happened all over again. This is just a thought I've had that I haven't heard anybody say. It would explain why they wouldn't tell us who it is, what it is, and why they wouldn't touch them. It was reported in the news. That's why I love local news. I subscribe to local news stations from all over the country. The fire stations, all the fire departments in New Jersey have been issued a directive that if one of these drones is believed to have crashed, that they are to not approach it, that they are to create a 400 yard exclusion zone around the crash, and immediately FBI bomb squad. There's some aspect to this that clearly we're not being told about, and the people that are online really downplaying this, and the couple people from the federal government, people like Mayorkas, people like the Defense Department spokesperson, his name is escaping me, starts with a K, they're saying this shit isn't happening. But the local government from both parties on the local, state, county level are all confirming that they have seen these things and that they are violating sensitive airspace. So somebody is lying. Okay? Clearly there's some shit going on. If they're not telling us, something bad is happening. Because if the government is doing this and they haven't stopped After all this problems that it's caused, how could that possibly be good? Are you going to be comfortable if they say, you know what, actually we were testing like a defense thing or whatever, and we just didn't tell you for 4 weeks, and we let everybody be concerned about, I mean, there's all kinds of different things. They had a medevac helicopter that was unable to go because of these drones. Now, the most disturbing thing I've heard in this whole deal, I didn't even know about this. A year ago in Langley Air Force Base, for 17 days, there were drone swarms over the base, over the naval base, so much so that they moved the F-22 squadrons. These would be our principal air superiority, air defense, interceptor squadrons on the East Coast. If somebody was actually going to attack America, these would be the people who are supposed to go up and meet them like head on and shoot down their shit. And they had to move these 2 squadrons to a different base because they were concerned that if they had to scramble at night when these drones are around, they were going to crash into them. They were unable to identify them. They were unable to find who was controlling them. They found a ship in international waters. The Coast Guard boarded the ship. They found nothing. They arrested, like a week later, a Chinese student who was flying a drone at the same base, but it was a commercial drone. These drones that the government was seeing over their base were things they were unfamiliar with. They said it was large, fixed-wing drones, like a Predator-type style drone with multiple, supplementary drones that were working in concert with the larger drone. These are appearing, there's bases in the UK where they've deployed drone defenses in response to these because it's been happening for the last couple of weeks. I read a Der Spiegel article yesterday about how they're having problems at Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany, the principal U.S. Air Force Base, Joint Air Force Base in Germany, from these drones. So something clearly is going on. If it's the U.S. government, are they collectively doing a worldwide test of all of their that's insane. So publicly like this and just to let it go on. Unless they're just totally nuts, which, hey, I haven't ruled that out. But I don't know. I can't shake the feeling that there's some sort of even more nefarious, not that our government isn't nefarious. It wouldn't necessarily make me feel better to know that it's the government doing this. But I guess the immediate danger, if it's foreigners, especially if it's something like the idea that I presented to you, that this is some sort of almost like a hostage situation or something like that, and they're daring them to do something, and that's the reason why they won't touch the stuff, because they're acting very strange. What you would expect, I know this has been going on a while, but I only really keyed into this a couple of days ago when they were doing the first Senate hearing or whatever where they were talking about this, and I'm watching the fucking guy from the FBI, and what you would expect the guy from, these people are professional bullshitters. If you don't know, there's a way of saying you don't know without saying I don't know. You say the FBI is fully looking into this. We have solid reasons to believe that it's not an immediate threat. We can't explain why right now, but we're going to be forthcoming when all the information, as the information is forthcoming to us, is going to be forthcoming to you. We are conducting an active investigation. We're doing everything in our power. We understand people's concerns. You have a right to be concerned, yada, yada, yada. But that's not what they did. They just basically sat there and put their hands up and said, we don't know about anything. That's fucking unacceptable. That's fucking insane. I don't even believe that. I don't believe these people are that incompetent, really. That's fucking nuts. And if they don't know, then, we would be in incredible danger. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't understand, if it's the government, why they would keep letting this go on, because it makes them look incompetent. If it is them, they're going to have to come out and say it, or else they're going to majorly lose face. Because what happens if it just stops? Because that's my other concern, is this could just fucking stop tomorrow, and then they never talk about it again. Which, again, is, to me, not acceptable. There's nothing I can do about it. They did this with the goddamn balloons. there's been multiple times in the last several years where United States airspace has been violated egregiously in ways that shouldn't be possible if they were doing what they said they are capable of doing. Those balloons should never. They can't get through there undetected. It's not even possible. They acted like it wasn't. They acted like. Remember, they pretended they couldn't. They didn't pretend like they weren't going to, or they had some reason why they didn't want to. They pretended for a while that they were incapable, the Air Force, of shooting down a high altitude balloon. That's how much they're willing to fucking just lie, make fools of us. Like, I mean, you fucking think I'm stupid? That's crazy. I mean, if that's true, then we're in incredible danger. And that's the same case with these drones. Like, if they're either lying a horrible way, they're doing something really fucked up and fucking with people, and they shouldn't be allowed to do this, even if they had this for national security. There's no way to justify that at this point. Or we're in grave danger. I mean, I really don't see any other option. The secret, I guess, bonus option would be Elon Musk has gone full Octavius, and he's going to take over the world with drones and Teslas and what do you call that? The boring company. He's going to drill a bunch of tunnels and take over the world. I guess that could be that. Frank Scorpio from The Simpsons. I don't know. So yeah, if you happen to watch this and you're in the New Jersey area and in the areas where they're seeing these drones, what the fuck? Let me know what's up. Everyone just pay attention and demand, especially if you're in these areas, do what you can to demand. It looks like the Jersey state government is up in arms, but continue to push for that and to get some answers to this and demand that they come up with something, even if they make something up. They haven't even made anything up yet. That's very weird to me. So I don't know. With that, Merry Christmas and a happy holidays to you folks. I'll talk to you later, hopefully.